let's talk about recruiting. So, for all our OU fans out there, thank you for tuning in here on the YouTube as well as listening to the podcast where we talk about everything else along with Oklahoma sports. Let's talk a little bit of recruiting because Oklahoma did get themselves, they went under the Christmas tree, grabbed a present, shook it, and figured out what it was early, knowing it was something that they really wanted. As they got themselves, how do I say this? A commitment without a commitment. Like there was no actual commitment that's gone out, but there was a commitment made by this player. Jared Kanak, the number one recruit out of Kansas. He decommitted from Clemson on the 20th. And, you know, thanked Dabo Swinney, thanked everybody there, blah, blah, blah. And on the 23rd, it was found that he had enrolled at OU as a student. So he's an enrollee. No words about commitment. No words about anything. He just showed up and decided to, hey guys, what's up? Showed up with his own ball and he's going to come out and be on the team.
Kawhi Leonard did the exact same thing.
Exactly. Just pulled up and said, hey, I'm going to be here, guys, which honestly is a really good thing. So the big thing with Kanak is that he was recruited by Venables, and Venables did say, Brent Venables, the head coach of Oklahoma, did mention that he has love and respect for Dabo Swinney, so he's not going to actively recruit players that he had recruited to go to Clemson. He's going to back off because he is a stand-up guy, which is some OU fans you guys should appreciate, is a guy is willing to say, hey, I'm going to stick by my word and be committed, and now he has shown that. So Kanak is enrolled, 6'2", 210 athlete is what he's listed as, which means he can play both sides of the ball, but they're expecting him to play probably outside linebacker. He's a track guy, which honestly you could put him at strong safety or whatnot. He ran like a 10.37 in the 100 meter. I ran track. That's fast. That's fast. And to be at that size, and it looks like he's going to get bigger. Like, there's no chance. I mean, he's a monstrous size in general. He got them thick legs, thick calves. He looks like he got just thick bones. So he'll be able to get up to about 230, 240, especially once he goes to the league. So coming out of Kansas, OU basically steals a monstrous defensive player. What do you think about that?
I think that, to me, it signaled a shift in what we're going to see in Oklahoma football. And this is mostly good, maybe a little bit not so good, but I think in the end it's going to be just fine. So under Lincoln Riley, he was able to establish himself in the Oklahoma program as quarterback U. Meaning if you come here at the quarterback position, I will not only help you to compete for a Heisman, but you will be a top 3, maybe even number 1 pick in the NFL. And using that, it's easy to recruit the best quarterbacks to your program. But knowing that Brent Venables is the great defensive coach that he is, and just looking at what he's doing recruiting wise, maybe this could signal Oklahoma transitioning into being LBU, linebacker U.
I mean, they used to have them back when Venables was here in the early 2000s. I mean, you have a long list, Rocket Kalmuses, Teddy Lehman's, all the way down. They produced some linebackers.
So that's what I'm saying. So I think we're going to start seeing this pipeline instead of being from the offensive end. I mean, there'll be some offensive players from Oklahoma that get to the league and do well. There always are. But there will be more of a definitive pipeline from the defense of Oklahoma to the NFL when you're able to get individuals like this, like you said, just a fantastic athlete, played multiple positions in high school.
Yes.
Especially the running back position, which there's a clip of him basically trucking like 6 people, not because he had to, but just because he wanted to.
Just because he wanted to. He thought it was a good idea.
And when you think about it too, playing the linebacker position, it's kind of like how a lot of times you have receivers who used to be quarterbacks, but they're really good receivers, even if they're not very athletic, because they know how to read defenses like a quarterback and get into that spot, get into that zone where they're wide open. Cooper Kupp does that a lot. Julian Edelman made his career off of that. Hardly a speck of athletic ability, but he played quarterback at Kent State. So with Kanak, with him playing running back, especially in high school, he knows how to read the line and find the gaps as a running back, because you have to. That's how you get in the open space. Job. So as a linebacker, he's going to be able to do the exact same thing from the other side and just blow plays up again and again and again. So seeing that was impressive to see his film, as well as for one, this is kind of a no-brainer in the sense that being from Kansas, now he stays closer to home. Being
5-hour drive from a 16-hour drive to Clemson, South Carolina. So that's a big difference.
Exactly.
And you know who else came out of Kansas that Venables had recruited that's now in the NFL? Isaiah Simmons.
Exactly. Who he's been compared to.
Yes.
Because of his speed.
He's a shorter version of him, but he's still stocky and he's fast like him. Isaiah was, God, I remember watching, we were at the Peach Bowl and we watched OU get slaughtered by LSU in Georgia.
Fun day.
It was I enjoyed myself. I didn't mind the slaughtering. It was
I did.
Jimmy gets
I left
little
early.
bit more.
I left early.
He left early.
I couldn't take it anymore.
I had to watch it. Jimmy gets a little bit more into that. I don't mind watching my team to get destroyed because I'm just entertained by great football.
Yeah.
And we were watching Clemson play afterwards. And I'm looking at this big dude. It's like, who is this guy? Like, who is that dude playing? I don't know what position that is. It's like a mixture. It's the hybrid linebacker safety.
Exactly.
But at the same time, he's as big as a defensive end. Like, who is he? And he's fast and he's hitting people hard. Who is this guy? Now I looked it up. I was like, oh, that's Simmons. I've heard about him, but it just didn't register until I physically saw. Like, he looked like he was 7 feet tall compared to the other linebackers and corners on the. He was huge. And if Jared can come into this team and provide that, oh my God, it's going to be stupid.
And I'll tell you something else. I watched a couple of his interviews, and I like to read people's behavior, read their personalities and such. And I can tell you this: between listening to him in his interviews and seeing him on the field, he's mean. He is very mean on the field. He plays with a certain reckless abandon. And when you notice some of the greatest linebackers we've ever seen, like a Ray Lewis or an Urlacher or so many others, they have to have that mean streak. But that's so valuable for a defense because it sets the tone. It changes the attitude for that defense. And it's been honestly quite a while since the OU defense had that mean streak. But it only takes one guy in order to infuse the rest of the defense with that. And I think he has that.
Yeah, and I loved Kenneth Murray when he was here. He was a good hitter.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like he had a mean streak either.
No, he
like,
didn't.
I feel like he was just angry all the time. And if he comes across as that, that's a big one. So,
Yes. What do you think about this? His nickname, the Mechanic. Jared Canick, the Mechanic.
I'm not mad at it, guys. Hey, leave us a comment.
The Mechanic.
What do you think? The Mechanic.
Fixes problems.
Hey, he fixes a big problem.
You're right.
He could
You're
be.
right.
I mean, with Nick Benito being gone, hey, that's a good point. So,
I'm excited.
On top of that, after Christmas, so all the OU fans, you all received that, that card from Grandma. You didn't get a chance to see her, but she mailed you a little something, and you looked in, and it was not too bad. A little something. You got that card. So Monday morning, University of California lineman, good Lord, I just had his information in front of me, and McCade Matauer has decided to transfer to Oklahoma.
Okay.
He's an offensive lineman, 6'4", 305, 3-star rated guy in 2018 when he came to Cal. So it's not the sexiest move, mainly because he's an offensive lineman, interior offensive lineman. And he's out of Texas. He's out of the Woodlands, Texas. So he's a Texas boy. He decided to leave Cal. He's coming to OU, transfer in. So he may not be the sexiest play, but veteran leadership at the line. He played 28 games at Cal, so he's got a lot of experience. It was pretty good. He was a second team all Pac-12 and a honorable mention on another publication. So he looks like he's someone that's going to be able to come in and immediately play. Add him right next to Wanya Morris on the right side. There could be some potential with this lineman. What do you think about OU winning McCade Matauer out of the transfer portal?
I mean, there's nothing not to like about it. It doesn't matter which line it is, offensive or defense. You can never have too many of them, and you always want to constantly make sure that those positions are the best that they can be. And sometimes that means, getting individuals, letting them compete against each other, and seeing who emerges as the best out of that. Because line play, as far as OU, and this is something else that OU has been consistent with as far as good offensive line play. Last year, and we kind of knew it was going to be a bit rocky because you had some guys leaving like Creed Humphrey for the NFL. It's been fantastic for the Chiefs, but you knew it was going to be a bit of an adjustment period, going to be a little bit of a down year as far as the line. But with some of the recruits that are coming in for 2022 and with the surprise transfer that Grandma sent us.
Right. Thank you, Grandma.
Yeah, right. I mean, you're definitely going to need guys like that, especially since Jeff Lebby's system, as I talked about before, is run centric. I mean, there's passing, there's a lot of passing, but the foundation of that is the run. And in order to do that effectively, you have to have offensive linemen. You have to have multiple offensive linemen, and especially playing in what is probably going to be still a pretty fast-paced system. And this guy coming out of the Pac-12 is probably used to that.
Yeah, Cal, he's definitely you got to be used to that.
You need guys like that who can stay in there, who are in that kind of shape to be able to constantly be going no huddle, constantly moving, etc. So I like this.
I like it a lot as well. I like the adding veterans to that. OU's losing some seniors, some redshirt seniors. I'm not sure how many super seniors are going to potentially come back next year since everybody has that extra year of eligibility. That's still in the air. It depends on who decides to go to the draft and who decides they want to come back and try it one more time.
Right.
But having a whole bunch of super seniors, kind of like a la Cincinnati, really does propel you one extra year, and gives you kind of an advantage over others because they've got that camaraderie for a longer period of time. But I think McKay can step in there and do some things. And his brother's a 6'5" prospect at quarterback out of Houston. So there's a chance that if McKay likes it here, we may have a 6'5" quarterback following him in 2025 or 2024 is when his class says he will pull up. So
I like it.
I like it a lot as well. What you guys like? You let us know what you think in the comments on the YouTube channel, as well as shoot us a line on the fan line 430-901-1906.